are live.
I almost did it again. Good evening, everybody. My name is Jinni Paxton. I am your host of Warrior Spotlight, where the stories are real, the emotions are raw, and the hearts are courageous.
Yeah.
As always, the most handsome in the room, my husband, my co-host.
Hello, everybody. How we doing?
And then tonight we have Dustin Perkins is our guest this evening. And then behind the scenes, as always, we've got Andy DeBala, who makes this all happen for us. So thank you very much with Liberty Sound Labs. And what is it, neighborhood? Tell me.
News studio.
Neighborhood News Studio? That's what?
Neighborhood News Studio.
Oh, Neighborhood News Studio. I'm sorry. I'm trying to work on getting that correct.
Thank you.
All right. So, welcome.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
You just kind of got to roll with things of how we do things here.
I'm used to rolling with the punches. It's all right.
So, Dustin, tell us, you are a veteran.
I am.
So give us a little behind the scenes of what that looks like for you, what service or what branch you were in, and
Sure.
how long you served and so forth.
I enlisted in the Coast Guard 2003, stayed in for 8 years. I was a member of a port security unit, a deployable operations unit, typically operated in theater overseas. I was honorably discharged after my tour 2011. Since then, I've been just enjoying civilian life, and now I'm enjoying entrepreneur life.
Copy.
Cool.
So what I like to tell people too is, and you can say as much or as little as you want to say, right? But the whole basis of what this podcast is around is for us to be able to reach the veterans who are sitting at home isolating,
Gotcha.
right?
Yeah.
So we need to be a voice for them until they can be courageous enough to come here or come around our organizations, right? So they're not isolating,
Right.
and or the spouses and the family members. So that's what we try to do here. We try to reach them so they know that there's a support system
Absolutely.
who understands a little bit about what they're going through or what that looks like.
Absolutely.
So, with that being said, do you want to? I know your transition was not an easy transition.
No, not at all.
So, are you willing to share a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Currently, I am VA rated 100% total and permanent. I am rated 100% PTSD. That was about 10 years in the making. When I got back in 2009, January 2009, I started my journey with the VA. And from there, it was a matter of convincing, reconvincing, sometimes convincing myself that help needed to be acquired. And thankfully, I have a...
That's a tough part.
Yeah, it is.
Meaning, what you just said, I'm only stopping just because of that. I think, as we know, what we're trying to do, or are hopefully doing here, is that asking for help is tough.
It is.
For a man or even any veteran person. And I think the way you worded that, and now it's gone, but it was very key. It was exactly what I bet a lot of people that are going through it or have. What you said was perfect.
Absolutely.
Wish I could reiterate
Did it
that.
take you a minute to get there?
Oh, it took me...
Said 10 years?
It took me a few minutes to get to
Right.
the point where I accepted there was an issue.
Right.
A lot of veterans I've spoken with have been in a similar situation where they realize something is there, something is wrong, but they have it on their shoulders to kind of try to handle it themselves.
Yeah.
And some things you just can't handle without help. Thankfully, there exists an incredible support system out there that really all that's needed from the veteran is just to reach out and grab it.
Raise his hand.
And that's the hardest step.
Yeah, I was going to say easier said than done.
That is the hardest step. The rest of it, it's just a, getting better game. But that first step, that's a doozy.
Did you ever have any isolation? Okay.
Absolutely. When I got back, there was at least 6 months where, it was rough. It was really rough. A couple of years after that, dealing with the anger, the depression, and eventually it just got to the point where I can't live like this anymore. So, you know, I was able to, with the help of my wife and wonderful, wonderful supports, able to tap into the right resources to get to the point where I am today, where it's not gone. This is a new normal. And that's one thing that I really think veterans need to recognize is if one is suffering, it's very hard, almost impossible to get back to where you were before whatever happened. But there's a new normal that really isn't all that bad. It's getting from the where you are to that new normal and then sustaining that new normal. So I'm definitely not going to be the same person I was before my enlistment, but I'm definitely better now than I was 10 years ago.
Sweet.
That's
It's good.
amazing.
It is.
Yeah. And it's key. So again, what we do with our organization, right, is we try to link to other resources as well. So other resources or veterans like yourself to have on the show to say, I've been there. This is how we can get through it. Not that you have the answers, not that I have the answers. Our organization doesn't have the answers, but we are brothers and sisters to where we can understand what this journey looks like, right? And we can give them hope that there are things on the other side of it. There are their new normals of whatever that may be.
Absolutely.
Of being an entrepreneur or whatever it is, right?
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
To be part of a support system, as you said, the support or tools in your toolbox. That's
Absolutely.
what we, you know, part of it is hearing the stories to say, wow, I can relate. And I think that's, you know, again, we say it a lot each show, or not each show, but a lot. That's what this is all about. And then, like you say, to know that there are, if we can't help or can help, we can link people up and, you know, connect and help and all that.
right, especially in post post enlistment, post tour, in order to cope with what's going on. It's not just what you know, it's who you know. Mm-hmm. And sometimes who you know is more resourceful,
Absolutely.
is more beneficial to moving down the track toward that new normal.
Right.
So.
And one of the things that I'm so blessed with is that within the last couple months we've really started focusing on the family aspect of it, right?
Right.
Because as a veteran, when you're in it, you can't see it, right? And so having your spouse affected by what was happening with you, right? And then you have children, right?
I do.
And the children are affected, right? It's a
Absolutely.
trickle-down effect. So
Absolutely.
letting them know that we are resources for that type of thing as well, right? For the family members, both the spouse and the kids. But it is definitely something that impacts the entire family.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I've seen it in my children, they recognize that I'm not the person I used to be post-deployment, that I have grown, I have changed, I have taken this bull by the horns, and I'm navigating it rather than being tossed 3 sheets to the wind by it. Mm-hmm. So they recognize that, and one of my goals and aspirations, one of the reasons why I became an entrepreneur, is I want to serve as that positive example for my children, that despite disability, despite any hindrance that I might run into, success is there for the taking.
Mm-hmm. I think what happens in, these are all steps that I'm learning, right? Is that when you first come out, you're so focused on what you're not, right? Yes. You're so focused on being broken, not being the person that you were, not being the rank that you were, not being the title that you were, right?
Right.
And not serving, something much bigger than yourself, right?
Your country, yeah.
You're nothing,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. And so you're so focused on what you're not, you forget all of the great qualities that you have, right? Mm-hmm. And it's so easy to be sucked into that realm of what we're not, right? Because once we figure out that there's something missing, right? There's something wrong with us. We just don't know quite what it is, but there's something off, right?
Right.
And so then we get hooked into that VA system. And I'm grateful for the VA. I'm not about bashing the VA. I'm grateful for it. I, too, live on a disability of the VA. But when you're in that system, it's just nothing but focused on broken, right?
It really is.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
there's no light in that tunnel anywhere, right? And so you have to be, and you have to surround yourself with people who go, wait a minute, you're never going to be in the military again. You have to learn how to adjust to civilian life. Let's show you how to give you some tools to cope, right? Let's surround you with people who understand what that looks like, right? And it is not an easy journey.
No.
But, you said 10 years.
10 years.
10 years is a long time.
And still going. I mean, I still have. I often tell my children, I'm not as good as I'm going to be, but I'm better than I was.
That is amazing. Yes, for sure.
So, and when you're talking about tools in your toolbox, when you're in the military, when you're in the service, the tools are readily available. The tools are there for you to use because it's part of your job. Mm-hmm. When you leave that contract, when you leave that environment, those tools stay behind. And we're kind of left holding an empty toolbox. Mm-hmm. And it takes a while to realize that toolbox is empty.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So,
How old are your children?
My eldest just turned 18. My youngest is 5.
5.
Yep.
And
Well,
how
I was
many do you
thinking
have?
on you saying
I have
about how they
6 of them.
6 of them.
I have 6 children. Love every single one of them.
Sure
They
you
all
do.
drive me insane.
Of course you do. That's what kids do.
Absolutely.
Andy knows. He's got like 6 or 7 of them too, don't
Billy
you?
counts me as his kid.
Telling you. I'm only 37 and they're already sending me AARP letters.
Funny. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm stuck. No. Well, they put a reality to the age. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
So your wife, if I recall, was a caregiver, right?
She is my caregiver.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And she,
So tell us what that looks like.
Okay.
There's a specific realm to being a caregiver.
yeah, there is. I recognize, and it took a long time to get to this point, that I can't handle my situation alone. And with that comes my wife, who graciously has stepped into the role of caregiver along, I would like to think, propelled by her love for me and my love for her. She acts as my grounding, my sounding board, my whatever I need. If I need to connect to a resource, she helps me get in contact with it. If I'm doing something blatantly out of line, she's the one there to check me. Exactly. And sometimes
good.
that's what you need.
Absolutely.
And a caregiver, just so everybody knows, is really a designated that is from the VA. So it is a very specific job that is titled through the VA that you have to
Yeah, I
apply
was
for
gonna
and you have
ask
to
to
get
that.
into that.
I mean,
so it's not just
Because
like
some people, would think
you're my
that's loosely
caregiver.
right because
No,
you're
that's
married
not
and
it.
you
No,
want to.
there's very specific things that a caregiver has to, criteria that they have to meet and that they have to do to maintain that status. Yeah.
And it gives her abilities.
See, I never knew that.
yeah.
I wonder how many people don't know that though.
Exactly.
That's
And-
why that's important. Yeah. That's
And
good.
for an individual who has a caregiver, designating that individual as a caregiver gives that caregiver ability to reach out to the VA on behalf of the veteran, which is a big thing. Something we were running into early on was she wanted to help me, but every time she called the VA, well, we can't talk to you.
Sure.
You're not the veteran.
Right.
Well, if she couldn't talk to the VA and I wouldn't talk to the VA, well,
Right.
the resources wouldn't match up.
Right.
I couldn't progress. So, that designation of caregiver is not something to be taken lightly. I don't take it lightly. I know she doesn't. So,
That's big.
it is big.
No, it's huge.
Well, I can see that just because, and I was saying thought jokingly, but you can't even call like the cable vision if you're not on there. Because how many times we're on there? Well, it's my husband. It don't matter. You're not on the account, and so I could see how important. And there is a lot, especially just waiting, to track down the resources, be on the phone, all that. That's
Right.
And
not
to-
just
to be a
combing your
voice
hair or anything like that.
for him, right?
Right. That's
Or
yeah.
you're a veteran when,
That's a big.
you don't know you're out of
Sorts? Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Right. You're isolating. You took a couple steps back, and she's like, "Oh, no. We, the meds are off. We need to be a voice. We need to." He was doing good. Now he's not, and so it is very, very critical.
Sure.
And so we've had several people on the show that they are not caregivers, right? And but I know to have an opportunity to do that, it would be an amazing position
That's
for
a
them
big-
to be in, because
Absolutely.
so much of the help that the veteran has received. So like one of our spouses was talking about, the veteran was in and they were in for 6 weeks and just starting to do great in their treatment, right? And then the VA is like, "Thank you, call us if you need us." And the spouse is like, whoa, wait. You didn't ask me. We're just now starting to get somewhere. Why are we stopping, right? And then there's a setback waiting to get back into it, right? And so, and we know there's always a prolonged, trying to get into doctor's appointments and that type of thing, which
Absolutely.
is the norm, right?
Right.
But
That's
again,
crazy.
not
That's-
bashing the VA,
No.
but it is a lot
It's
to maneuver.
It's bureaucratic is what it is. Just like anything else, just like when we were in the military, everything is bureaucratic. Everything is, triplicate, and, if it isn't such and so a way, forget it. The good thing with the caregiver support program, which I highly encourage people to reach out to.
Say that again, right? Let's do it in the camera.
It's the caregiver support program for the Ann Arbor VA system.
That's big.
That is big.
Because just in a few minutes we
And I'll
talked,
post links and
just
connections
in
all
this
that.
short little time,
Yeah.
as me being your spouse, that is probably, in my opinion, one of the biggest tools in that toolbox, or key component to helping a veteran in life. Because you just said it, whether it's even, and I'm only going to bring up drinking or some type of abuse of anything. You're working too much, you're this, you're not standing up straight, and it ain't always, we don't see it. We're in denial. Oh, my breath don't stink. I've been drinking, we're already, so all that's big.
Right.
I think that's probably the biggest thing I've learned right now in this whole 14 weeks is that there is a resource that close and that important, because there's nothing closer than living with the veteran that sees that, and then you put all this time, phone calls to get to the right meds, whatever it is, and now like she says, wait a minute, what? We'll see ya. Okay, well, anyway, that's my 4 cents. That's important. Wow.
It absolutely is. And I will say this, that one of the reasons why my wife has been so successful as a caregiver is because she really is a pit bull.
A pit bull?
She is a pit bull.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
And for example, she has...
Well, it takes that sometimes to
It
get shit
does.
done.
And like I said from the beginning here, every now and again she slaps me back into line. That's needed. And if that doesn't happen and she's able to progress because she's a caregiver, then she's able to light up resources at the VA that she knows about. But if she wasn't a pit bull, she wouldn't have the wherewithal to navigate the VA to light those resources up. So
You say light them up? Light them up?
Light 'em
or
up.
light them up?
light them up. Because sometimes they don't like to interact
Oh,
with
no.
the VA.
Yeah.
They're bureaucrats.
Well, some people just,
They hear, hundreds of stories every day. I'm sure you're just a number to them, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I have been in the room with her on the cell phone, screaming into the cell phone, trying to get across to people at the VA and other resources, saying we need help and we need help now. And thank God for her,
Yeah.
because it's her dedication, her determination that is able to allow me to work on myself and to be the husband and father that my family needs.
right, there you
That
go.
is so
important, yeah.
amazing. It is so amazing that you can say that, right?
Yeah.
And that your pride doesn't get in the way.
Yeah,
That
that's the biggest word
you
right there,
know the
pride.
role that she plays and how valuable it is to you and to her and to your children. That
Absolutely.
is just spectacular.
Absolutely.
That is
Thank you, Mrs. Caregiver.
Exactly.
Perkins.
Love you, Perkins. We love you.
Love you, sweetheart.
It's what Jamie calls a shout out,
Exactly.
Mrs. Perkins.
But
Yeah.
because of all of that journey over the past 10 years, I've been able to take advantage of opportunities to help others. Yes, while in the military, I was helping others. Outside of the military, in the civilian realm, I'm still helping others because that idea of feeling part of something bigger than yourself, that doesn't go away.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I've seen so many companies headed by veterans, because we have this ability to take hold of something and make it reality. We can take that hill, and there's really nothing more difficult than starting a business or starting an effort or a nonprofit or whatnot. And it's almost therapeutic for me when I know that I have such and so tasks to do. These tasks will not only help me, but help, dozens of my agents, or, hundreds of families making memories down in Disney World. It's that kind of cathartic approach.
Cathartic. Wait a minute. What is that? That's a big one.
It is a big one.
Know what it means? Cathartic.
It means that I'm capable of doing that, and it's benefiting me emotionally.
Sure. No, squirrel. Dang it. Yeah. Go ahead. Okay, it'll come back to me.
All right.
So with all of that, tell us what you do as an entrepreneur.
Well, I am the owner of Jinni Vacations, a Disney-centric travel agency located here in Temperance, Michigan. We are the only, as far as I know, service-disabled, veteran-owned small business travel agency in Michigan. We're also minority-owned. We have agents literally across the country. I've got agents in Indianapolis. I've got a couple in San Diego. They're family, and they know where I'm coming from. A lot of them come from the military themselves. I love bringing on veterans because they know what they know. They know how to do things. They know how to get things done. There's a certain mentality coming out of the military.
You speak the same language in some cases.
Absolutely, absolutely. That, and a lot of disabled vets will come to me, and one of the reasons I guess I'm so popular, besides being service-connected, disabled, veteran-owned, is that I don't charge my agents anything to start with me. One of the reasons why I started the agency, besides the ability to cope with my disability, was my wife wanted to be a travel agent, and that was something I wanted to do for her. So I went everywhere, and I looked for an agency that would bring her on. And next thing you know, you go, yeah, you can be a travel agent for $300-$400. Forget that. And what is that military mindset? Forget it. I'm doing it myself.
Right.
And that's exactly what I did. I started the company, and I realized that other companies were charging money for agents for the privilege of selling vacations. Forget that. We got rid of that. Training, marketing, resources. Companies were charging for that. Forget that. We got rid of that charge. And at the end of the day, we live by the motto that if one of us is successful, we're all successful. And only if we're successful is everyone successful. We benefit as the executives of the company from the enthusiasm and the progression and training and the production of the agents and their ability to book vacations. So they get their commission before I get anything. And that's probably a backwards way of doing a company. But it is, in my opinion, the right way, because I am dealing with a lot of veterans, a lot of disabled veterans, some on fixed incomes. They would love to do something like this. They can't afford $400 or $500 to shell out just for the privilege of selling vacations, the privilege of making a little kid smile when they go to Disney World and they see Mickey Mouse.
Right.
That's an experience that I want to share with other people, agents and clients alike. And that's exactly what we're built on.
So tell us, why Disney?
Why Disney? Well, I've never been to Disney until I was married. My wife is a Disney nut. She knows everything about Disney. We recently did a Disney trivia night on Twitch. She wrote all the questions. Incredible questions. She has an incessant love for everything Disney. So the first agency I reached out to, naturally, was Disney. Disney has so many destinations and attractions, and just ways to tap into that magic that Disney has, that we really haven't had a need to deviate from that anytime soon. In the long term, being an executive, 3-5 years out, sure, we might dabble into cruises, we might dabble into other things, but Disney is going to be the core of our company, because at the end of the day, a cruise is nice, but sending a family down to Disney World, and I don't know if you know this, there's in Cinderella's castle, there's a little, like a beauty salon called Bippity Boppity Boutique.
Oh, no.
And in Cinderella's castle, you got to make appointments to get in here.
Years out.
Yeah, I did this for my daughter, my eldest daughter. My youngest daughter wasn't old enough at the time. You got to be 3 because they put on makeup and whatnot. Well, you sign them up. They go in. They're surrounded by these cast members, these wonderful cast members that deal with children all day long. They can pick out their dress and their makeup and their glitter and the whole 9 yards, put their hair up and whatnot, and to top it all off, once they're done, after they leave, every single cast member in the park, in the resorts, refers to them as princess.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen people stop, cast members stop my daughter and ask her for her autograph.
Oh, how cool is that?
And it was wonderful to experience that as a person who went to Disney. It's even better to be able to provide that for other people.
Sure, right.
For them to go and experience the magic that's there, kind of get away from the ugliness of the world for a little bit, enjoy the magic, enjoy the fantasy, and come back with just filled to the brim with these positive memories. It's worth it. Every day that's worth it.
All right, yeah.
When we went, that's the first thing I said. I was like, I remember watching the fireworks, and there was a group of ladies that were sitting down on the thing. We just got there, and they were sitting down on the Chase Lounge, whatever, and they had the book, because we got the book prior to it, and they tell
Pennies in.
you a year ahead to even plan for Disney to get the most out of it. It gives you all the shortcuts. I'm sure you know that book I'm talking about. It's like that's the thing. These women were doing their plan. Well, the boys can go here, and then we'll take the girls here and there. But they were from Australia.
Right.
So can you imagine that cost, of them coming to America just to go to Disney, to plan it, to do all this, and how they were planning this shortcut, because, there's the maps where when you get out of this attraction, you go this way, you can see this and this along the way, which I know you know all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, even when we'd go to Cedar Point, how it's so sad that so many Americans or kids throughout the world will never get to experience any of that, And you don't see anybody crying. The only kid's crying is because he didn't get his gum or something. Everybody's happy. There's always smiles on their faces.
Absolutely.
Is what it is. It's just crazy. It is.
And that's one of the things that my agency provides is
Absolutely.
the planning.
I've been waiting to say that because we get it.
Yeah, the
We get it.
planning, the booking, the ins and outs of how to best handle your vacation. Because for a lot of people, for a lot of families, this is a once and done.
Exactly.
This is a
absolutely.
vacation of a lifetime.
Absolutely.
So all of my agents are trained from day one. Handle these clients, handle their dreams with extreme care.
Right.
And we do all of this, no fee. We don't charge an extra fee. There's no sense. There's no sense in us having to tack on that additional charge for somebody who's probably been working years.
Right.
To save
I was
up
going to
money.
say it's a lot.
Years to save
And then
up
go
money.
in it rains or something. Yeah.
Exactly.
No.
And they come to someone like us, and at the end of the day, oh yeah, it's going to be $500 extra. Forget it.
Right.
We will get our money somehow. It's your dreams. It's your memories that we're focusing on.
That's
I
amazing.
had just seen what you're talking about, what you said about the Princess Boutique. I just, through my feed on Facebook, I had just seen somebody I know through my feed had went to that. And because they showed the pictures of their daughter getting their autographs after that. So when you said that, I was like, man, and that's crazy. I just seen, like I said, it come across my feed, and I was like, how sweet is that, man? But you're right, it's a one and done.
It is, and I know one of the things that people are concerned about is, well, what about traveling during COVID? You know, what about, you know, in this environment that we're in? How is it? And since Disney has implemented their Know Before You Go program, which tells you about social distancing, hand washing, specific type of masks, you know, you can't have masks with valves, you can't have bandanas, they're very specific. Which is also kind of nice because once you get there, you can get masks that have Disney and Goofy and Donald.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
So, you know, it kind of
The marketing strategy.
$3 water.
it turns that necessity into a souvenir.
Sure.
Oh, right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. Get a little more bang out of that buck. But no, you're 100% right.
Absolutely. But the good thing is they haven't had an outbreak in the park
Right.
at all. And they're having tens of thousands of people go through that park every day.
Right.
They're very conscious about what they're doing, about the protections they're putting into place. It's one of the safest places. They say Disney is one of the most magical places on earth. I'd like to say it's one of the safest. So I tell people, if you want to go to Disney, don't let this stand in your way. Because, and I'll give you an example. Before, you'd have to stand in line for 45 minutes, hour and a half to go see Cinderella. Can't do that anymore, not in the day of COVID.
All right.
But what they've done in place is they've set up like spontaneous cavalcades where you'll see a parade coming down Main Street, USA, with the princesses, and you're off to one side, and your child makes eye contact with their favorite princess, and the princess waves back. Next thing you know, you have that magical experience.
Right.
It's still there. Disney still knows how to create the magic.
Sure.
They're just adapting in the days of COVID.
Of course.
So things will get better.
Well, yeah.
Our youngest daughter went to school at Embry-Riddle in Daytona, and she had a season pass the entire time she was there. It was her favorite. Like, she would go all the time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She would love it. Like, her and her friends would just go. She's like, going to Disney.
Yeah. Well, you're getting your money's worth. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
And there's a lot more than just the Princess Park. You know that. All the Epcot and everything. Yeah.
So tell us about the military hotel there. We know we stayed in it.
Shades
Yes.
of Green.
Yeah.
Yes.
So for those who don't know, there is a military hotel there.
They are phenomenal. They are not associated with Disney in so much as they're not. You can't book Shades of Green through Disney. But I've been in contact with Shades of Green, and when you go that route, not only do you get your hotel, you get your tickets discounted, you get your everything taken care of. You know what? If you come to us, yeah, we can't book Shades of Green, but I will wholeheartedly, pass you off to that organization because they really are phenomenal.
It helped us afford to go.
I mean, it definitely is. It's a resource that veterans have earned. So why not take advantage of it? Now, on the same token, Disney has also provided discounts for active military, for veterans, just not to the degree of Shades of Green. But I would highly, Google Shades of
Yeah.
Green and just look at their rooms and facilities they have. It's top of the line.
Yeah, and on that note, we stayed at the Contemporary, right? The monorail comes through, right? And which we wanted to because that's the Disney experience. That's what we wanted, right? Because I think Shades of Green was under construction at the time too, but we still knew that's if we're gonna go with the girls, that's where we want to go. We want the monorail to pick us up right in there. And it's hard to get into that one, right? Because there's a couple, obviously, other ones. Then we went back when Summer was older, playing volleyball. We stayed at Shades of Green, so we got to get both, both tastes of it, and they're both, But younger is definitely the Contemporary.
Yeah.
There's no question. But when they're older, I can see the. But either way,
I mean, a veteran
There's
who
a
takes,
choice there.
yeah, absolutely, a veteran who takes advantage of Shades of Green, you're not sacrificing anything
no.
because for what you give up in being right next to,
Right.
the Cinderella's castle, you get in the ability to stay longer,
Yep.
the ability to experience more, create more of those memories. So absolutely, veterans, I highly encourage Shades of Green, and I know any of my agents will be able to kind of point them in the right direction because we've been there.
That's amazing.
We love it.
Yeah. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
After I've spilled my life story,
And we will put all your links and all that stuff so people know how to reach you for sure.
well, just a couple of things. One is for disabled veterans. You know, my agency, as I just said, is built on the idea that if I succeed, if you succeed. And if anyone is interested in, you know, delivering these memories to potential clients, reach out. You know, reach out to us on Facebook, facebook.com/Jinni Vacations, our website and whatnot. Reach out to us, and we would love to have you as an agent. For clients who are interested, like I said, everything we do is without a fee. We don't charge an additional fee for any of our planning. We want to make sure you have the experience of a lifetime, no matter how many times you go.
That's amazing.
It is.
Awesome.
Cool.
Thank you so
I love
much.
the caregiver part, I think, that was huge for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on here. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Thank you so much for what you do with Disney and making veterans feel special through that, and disabled veterans. We're not done yet, Andy, so don't cut us off yet. Okay. So I've seen him. He leaned up. He was going to
I know,
cut us
he's
off.
getting all right.
There's some things that we want to cover on the little blessing side of things coming up. So are you going to stay and join us, or are you going to...
Well, I'd love to, but I have agents that are creating memories right now.
Get out there and make them memories.
so much.
Exactly.
Yes, it was
Thank you
very
so
nice
much.
to
Nice
see
to
you.
meet you. Thanks for
It
your
was great.
service.
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely.
problem.
Thank you so much,
Yep.
Dustin. You have a great night.
You too.
So we want to cover a couple more things tonight. There's been so much going on with Little Blessings. I know last week, who was our guest last week? I'm drawing a blank.
Oh, we did the,
You're at the V.
Oh,
VA.
that's right. We went to the VA, and the Grinch was there. That's right.
Yeah.
That was pretty amazing. We loved all of that.
up there, the gentleman?
His name is Alvin.
Alvin.
Yeah, and so last week with being Veterans Day, we did so many amazing things. I made it a point earlier in the day to talk about how I was going to go out and around the community and talk to
Make a
veterans.
day of it, yep.
And it was absolutely incredible. I started my day out at an amazing ceremony up in Monroe. Was there. I went into Home Depot, thanked some veterans there.
That was pretty cool.
That was
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Just to take the time to thank them.
Yep. And then I went to a new VFW that I'm not part of.
Right.
Met Hank and Sue. They were amazing. Incredible. So, and Hank has come out the last 3 days to volunteer at the farm.
Really?
Yes.
Sweet.
Hank came to our.
Who was Hank? I'm drawing a blank.
You haven't seen Hank yet.
I haven't met Hank.
You have not met Hank yet. No, but you will meet Hank for sure. He is a Vietnam veteran.
Cool.
So, yeah, a
Some of the
Marine.
best kind.
A
Ooh.
Marine Vietnam veteran, yeah. So, yeah, pretty awesome. But since last week, we had, on Saturday morning, we did our art-assisted equine healing.
Right.
And what that looks like, we have an amazing, no pictures, but I can post them later. Sister Jo, she was an art therapist. She's at St. Francis.
Right on.
And she came, and it was like 2 hours of this magic, quiet, kind of meditation, right?
We'll run at you.
Sure.
Well, I just so we look at each other a little different.
Okay,
And it's just
so I have to move a minute.
Just to help everybody out. Let's go. Well, no, it's just my neck was twisted, and it was just so we can kind of project it to the camera there a little better, honey. I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
It's just like
I was like, what's happening?
I
Okay.
know. I'm sorry.
I know. And
Sorry.
it's okay. We
Yeah,
roll
but
with
no,
this.
I was when I was asking you about the day, I was really took back by how you was planned your day up. You know, because I knew it was a big day for the veterans, and you really wanted to make the most of it, and I know you did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It was incredible.
Right.
It was the best Veterans Day that I've ever had.
I could tell,
It was
yeah.
so much fun. And so then,
That's because I was there.
yes, that's because Andy went with us. Yes, we went mobile. Yes, exactly.
We took the circus on the road.
And then Saturday night we had Veterans Appreciation at the farm, which that was,
S'mores.
yep, s'mores. That was pretty cool. And then we had our Friendsgiving. Was that
Yep.
the week prior? I can't. I think it was the week prior that we had our Friendsgiving, And that was amazing too. So Andy didn't show
That
up.
was last week.
Yeah, that was Sunday right in. That was a banging weekend because it was Sunday.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, there was just so
Wow,
much
I
that was
don't know.
happening.
Right, because I already thought we had Thanksgiving.
Right.
I did.
So much is happening.
It happened. I did. I asked her yesterday.
COVID will not keep us down. COVID will not keep us down.
And on that, I want to say too, I think every day at the farm is a veteran's appreciation. I think just when you said that, I was like, we appreciate them. They don't get it said much, but at the farm, when they show up, they're,
Yeah, they really find a home at the farm.
yeah,
Big farm.
yeah. Go ahead.
No, that's okay.
That was a great day though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. So there is some stuff coming up. It's called Giving Tuesday. Right now I'm trying to work on some of this. I'm not a tech person. I was reaching out to a couple different people today, and I'm going to try to figure it out so we can put the hashtag Giving Tuesday 2020 on our Facebook, on our website, so we can connect to hopefully some of those donors out there. I know Facebook matches up to $7 million on the Giving Tuesday. So,
Oh, wow. Right.
because you're watching our show, just remember little blessings with that. We're going to put that out there as well. And we are running a campaign. I want to talk about the campaign. I want to push the campaign now into the end of the year. Specifically, it is called We've Got Your Six. We have the shirts, the sweatshirts, We've Got Your Six. More of them are coming in this next week. But there are links on our Facebook page. I will add links to the website, and then I just was kind of playing around with YouTube to figure out how to do a donor site on there as well. And so for $6, a minimum of $6 a month, you guys might not think that does a lot,
And 2 energy drinks.
right? So it would make a difference,
A pack of cigarettes.
right?
It's less than a pack of cigarettes.
Yes, and so we have 4,400 followers on our Facebook. 44.
Yeah.
So let's do the math of that.
It's less than 2 beers at the bar.
Even if half of you gave the $6, right? But we want more than that. So what this would do, 100. Let's do quick math. 100. $600 a month, right? So this is big things that this money would be able to do for us to coming in on a regular basis. Somebody said, hey, can I give you $72 for the full year? Absolutely. We want you to do that. But one of the bigger parts of this is to show our sustainability. This program allows us to show our sustainability when we go to organizations, that they can see that we have a continual income. And so this is a critical piece.
Fly by night or something, right?
Yep, it's a critical piece of what we're doing moving forward for sure. What else did I have?
And
I'm
it
not
will.
sure.
It will. It'll come. It has come. I mean, it's just crazy how far it's come in just 2 years.
Yep. That's what I wanted to say. So I knew there was just so much to give. So we launched our military kids, Little Blessings Military Kids program last week. Way excited. The team that we have for this is just out of this world. So we have Kit is her name. She has a education degree in early childhood,
Okay.
and a psychology degree.
Right.
Then we have Kyle,
Yep.
she's going to be our next equine specialist. We just scheduled her schooling today in February. Super stoked about that.
That was cool.
Yep. And then we have Ashley, she is interning as a social worker. So we have these 3 dynamos who are leading this kids group, right? And so last week we had 11 kids in this group, 11 military kids connecting to each other, right? And one of the most amazing things, because the parents can't be involved with it, they can watch from afar, right? And so when the parents, which I didn't even take this into consideration, right?
Right.
I was in the conference room with the parents, and the bonding they were doing, talking and sharing about their kids and what they were
themselves, right.
experiencing, watching their kids, right? And so it's totally different to be able to connect to military kids to talk about, my dad passed away. Oh, so did my dad. My dad's deployed. Oh, my dad just got home, or my mom just got home. We walk on eggshells in our home. So there's so much commonality that these kids, it gives them somebody else to talk to, because civilian kids will not understand.
Right.
They do not
and they
understand.
probably don't even, the younger ones, like Corbin's age or whatever, don't realize what they're doing. We as adults can sit there and watch them, but as they're talking, like you just said, oh, my dad drives tanks or whatever, that helps them, because it just helps them in a lot of ways. I could see that.
Yeah.
I never thought of it that way. I was
Yeah.
thinking more on the the instructor and that course, which is all positive.
Yeah.
But what you're saying there is
And this is very specific. They are building this lesson plan. It is a 6-week lesson plan that is going to be produced for Little Blessings,
Sure.
right? And it is absolutely amazing
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're spending countless hours doing this. I
Helping.
talked to Kit last
Yep, I
night,
bet
and
they are.
she's been spending hours and hours trying to make sure that this lesson plan gets
sure.
executed properly. Last week they showed up. I rounded the corner and they were there 45 minutes
All
early.
3 of them were right.
I was like,
Yeah.
who's here? I had no idea who was here, right? And they all showed up 45 minutes early.
Right.
They were ready to go. So that's super
and you,
exciting.
And you know that you're a good judge of character, and you see this, and you can just see the potential that this program is going to have.
Yeah.
And then by them 3, and this is just in 1 week, and look at the passion that they're showing, and like he was saying, creating memories earlier. Dustin was, yeah.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit with
And
that.
we're going to have
I
these
can see
ladies
that.
on the show too, for sure.
Yep.
And I will post this. Kit has her own business. It's called Kit Cares. She is helping parents get through some of this insanity, COVID homeschooling stuff.
Wow,
So
yeah.
she's a resource for that. She is absolutely amazing. I've handed out her information. A matter of fact, our own daughter is connecting with her to help Corbin out,
Right
which
on.
would be great.
Right.
And some of the other military families that were there. But there's so much going
Yeah.
on right now with Little Blessings, and we're so
That's
blessed with our
cool,
show,
yes.
the Warrior Spotlight, the guests that we've had on the show. Growing in leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
This military kids program, we did not think we would launch until mid 2021, and we got off the ground already. Incredible.
And some of that too is, that's positive.
Yeah.
And it is just allotting the time. You've got the people in there, and the resources will come. It's gonna that's
Yeah.
gonna snowball.
We had
I
an
know that.
initial
Yeah.
$1,800 donation into our kids program.
Wow.
And we have another $1,800 potentially coming just to start our program. The blessings are falling from the sky.
Right.
So it is absolutely incredible. So
And it is, God's got his hand in it. I mean, you can say karma, and I don't want to get, but
No, you don't
we're
have to.
believers, we're Christians, and we know that this is a big part of it. And God doesn't put people in our path by mistake.
Yes.
And there's no such thing as a coincidence in our world. And I'm happy for it. I know it's going to just go nuts. I already know, man.
yeah,
mean-
we're doing amazing things.
I just got to stay focused. But yeah, it's definitely going to
Yeah.
do some serious stuff, man.
Yeah.
I know it is.
2021 is going to be
I
amazing.
can't
I know
tell.
we're not through 2020 yet, but we're on to 2021 already.
Yeah, just got to get through it. Hey, I know, absolutely. I know it. The kids
Okay.
thing, I'm really happy.
Yeah, super
I'm happy
stoked.
about it all.
Okay, we're going to wrap up tonight. Oh, I just caught our high five a little bit, but I loved it.
Yeah, it's a little.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys for who watch. Thank you for who support us and share us and like us and spread the word about us. We love all of you guys for
do.
that. So we wish you guys a good night, and we will see you next week.